All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we talk a little bit about things that happened down here on a Monday on Labor Day. Well, we did a big video this morning about Jauan Jennings and how today was not just Labor Day, but today was Jauan Jennings Day. Because I thought there was a very good chance that he would show up and practice with his teammates, and sure enough, he showed up and practiced with his teammates and ended his whatever you want to call it, hold in. I'll call it a hold in because that's probably really what it was. I saw him on the field. He looked good. He ran up and down. He made sharp cuts. If there is any lingering effects of that calf injury, couldn't see it. Couldn't see it at all. He didn't seem limited in any way, shape, or form. He was out there going full speed with all of the other receivers in the individual drills, doing sharp cutting. Running, looking good. He's lean. He's got the hair is dyed purple. And so this was a big day today, because if he didn't show up today, there was a very good chance he wasn't going to show up for a long, long time, for a long, long time, because there was really, it's either now or, now's when the games are going on. And if he's healthy, and I always believed that he was, it's time to go, right? If you wanted to play super hard ball, here's the other thing that I kind of wonder about on this Jauan Jennings thing. How much was he even in lockstep with this plan with his own agent? I haven't heard his agent say a single thing about any of this. There's been no Drew Rosenhaus public declarations of any kind. So it makes you wonder if this little hold in was a Rosenhaus idea, or if it was really Jauan. And it could have just been as simple as, hey, let's minimize risk. And, the 49ers, it's not totally without, beyond the realm of possibility that the 49ers not just were okay with Jauan sitting out, but kind of endorsed it. Since we believe the injury is legit, and we can debate all day and all night about the levels of, is it a grade 1, is it a grade 2, is it a grade 3, whatever. It's a calf injury that has bothered him at some point. So it's not like it's a phantom injury. I think it's always been a real injury. So if you have a guy who's, a big game producer and has done it on Super Bowl Sunday, and this guy's a money player, and Jauan Jennings absolutely is a money player, the Niners don't really have any concern if he's going to show up and play big on game day, because that's what Jauan Jennings does. That's who he is, right? So it was just always going to be about, as far as this camp, they don't care about what he does in camp. It doesn't matter what he does in camp. They had so many receivers early on in the camp. They had so many guys coming and going that they probably, just would rather almost not Jauan not be there. If you told the Niners, hey, you could have Jauan Jennings all training camp, but there's a chance, he has a recurrence of the calf injury, I bet you they would be like, let's sign off on anything to, lessen the load on Jauan. So, yeah, I do think the Niners would love all their players to practice, but you know what? Jauan Jennings is a money player who's proven it, and if he's got slight calf irritation, or even more than slight calf irritation, all the more reason for him to sit it out, because he's going to show up. Everybody needs training camp to some degree, right? Otherwise, there's always risk for soft tissue injuries. So he's losing out on training camp. But as long as he was keeping himself in decent condition, as long as he doesn't suffer some kind of soft tissue injury in September, you could argue that the Niners and JJ, are ahead of the game, as long as he doesn't have any kind of physical setback from not practicing. Why? Because there's 3 preseason games that he potentially could have hurt the calf in that he didn't. There was a whole slew of practices all summer long. Any single one of those could have led to any kind of an injury for Jauan. And now he's 100% healthy going into week 1. Is he rusty? I don't know how rusty he is. He probably is pretty rusty. But it was great news that he showed up today. Because if he didn't show up today, then it's like, okay, you're not going to play. You've got a contract. You're not going to play. You've held in all summer. They've given you a huge wide berth, but now it's like the team loves Jauan, and if he somehow didn't practice today, I think that would, right now that everybody's on the same page. Lynch loves JJ. Shanahan loves JJ. His teammates love him. Everybody loves him. But if he had taken a different path today and not shown up, now it's like, hey, now you're putting yourself in front of our team. And I think that would have added some frostiness to the relationship. So, I mean, I don't know how this thing's going to go. I would say the 49ers love and respect Jauan Jennings. Now the next thing is, how does he play? Does he go out there and play? Does he play well? How many snaps can he play in Seattle? And can he play a full complement of snaps? Do they have to go with an extra receiver because he can't play a full complement of snaps? What kind of year does he have? And then, we can talk about money later in this year. If Jauan Jennings comes out and has a bust-out, huge year, takes his whole career to another level, then the 49ers are going to make a preemptive offer to him before next March's free agency to try to keep him off the market. And that, when the Niners are like, hey, the timing's all wrong right now, well, that's the right timing. You have a big year. It's now November, and you've had this big statistical year, and you're headed towards free agency, and now the Niners are like, hey, what do you think you're going to get in free agency? How about you sign here? What if we did this? What if we do that? See, and I think the timing then is much more favorable for Jauan. So, this is a big, some of this doesn't have anything to do with Jauan. It has to do with the fact the Niners have extended so many different big contracts to their star players, and they're trying to kind of stem the tide of and they don't like the precedent of ripping up a contract 1 year after you signed it and writing up a new contract. But guess what? If he plays his ass off, it's still a player they love. It's still a player they're going to want to retain. It's still a player that, if he has a huge, September, October, November, and all of a sudden you get to like December 1st and he's had this wonderful year and you're looking at his free agency coming in March, there's nothing to preclude the 49ers from saying, hey, Drew Rosenhaus, this is what we're thinking now. And at that point, you have a better, clearer picture of the calf, of his production curve, of Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, and the rest of your wide receiver core, including Ricky Pearsall. So you're going to have a much better, I agree with the Niners. When they say, hey, the timing's not right now, the timing's all wrong for them right now. But doesn't mean the timing won't be right later on this year if JJ, as he did, shows up, balls out, stays healthy, produces at a crazy level. This is a receiver they're going to want to keep into the future. The same reason they've been patient with JJ all summer is the same reason that a long-term contract extension for him could still potentially be coming. But as the Niners said through Tim Kawakami, the timing's all wrong. Yeah, I think the present timing is all wrong. But if he balls out, has a really good year, stays healthy, the calf injury doesn't get worse, he doesn't have a recurrence, he plays games, he's productive, damn right they're going to want to keep him. Damn right they're going to offer him a preemptive strike offer to try to keep him off the free agent market. That's when the timing will be right. So September, late August, now early September, timing on a new contract for Jennings, all wrong. He made his statement. He held out or held in all summer. They didn't fine him a penny. They went with the calf injury. But I'll tell you right now, based on my eyes and what I just saw out there at practice, I would say the calf has been fine. He moved like a guy who didn't have any concerns about the calf. So there were no indications today on the field of any kind of a calf injury of any kind. Obviously we'll see about in the days ahead. But today he was moving around. He looked fresh. He looked spry. He was happy. He walked over to Kyle Shanahan, gave him a big embrace. He walked over to John Lynch, I believe, gave him a big embrace. He's their guy. They love him. And we talked about it before. It's like there's no, we could use a million stats to describe this. The reason the 49ers love Jauan Jennings is because he's the guy, right? They love him because he is a big money player. You put money on the table and this guy shows up. You raise the stakes and this guy shows up. He's tough as shit. He's competitive as hell. He's the most competitive guy in the room. If they could replicate him, if they could clone him, they would. So, good news here on Jauan Jennings Day, Labor Day. Today was a huge day. If he didn't show up, there was a very good chance he wasn't going to show up until late November. Instead, he shows up. He'll be on the field for Seattle, you would think, at Lumen Field on Sunday, and away we go. What happens with the calf? We'll see. What happens with the contract? We'll see. The Niners say the timing's not right now. I agree with that. I think the timing potentially could be right around Thanksgiving or the holidays. Look for that later on this year. Niners want to keep this player. I mean, the same reason they've shown patience now is the same reason they're going to want to retain him going forward. They love this player. They'd like to clone this player. They'd like to sign this player, but they're going to do it on their own timeline, not his. All right. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueger Show. We also should thank our brand new sponsors. We're here in the month of September, and we have a brand new sponsors for the show. The first one that we want to mention is our good friends at Habas Law. That's right, Habas Law. Today's show is sponsored, this video is sponsored by Habas Law. For more than 40 years, Omar Habas and his son Tark have been standing up for the people right here in the Bay Area. They're great guys. I've known these guys for years. They're fierce. They're relentless attorneys. They don't back down until justice is done. So if you're in a pinch, man, if you need help, Habas Law, whether you're injured, your insurance company is trying to minimize your pain and your future, Habas Law makes sure they pay attention and that they pay up. So they know the playbook because they've been battling insurance companies for decades and winning. You know, it's a tricky thing. It's like it's the same way Shanahan's got to have a game plan for the Niners. Habas Law's got to have a game plan for their clients. They're the official partners of Bay Area institutions like the Giants, the Earthquakes, the Sharks, San Jose State, Santa Clara University. That's not just advertising. They are aligned in this community, and that's why I love these guys. I had a chance to spend some time with them last year up in the suite at the Giants game, and just Omar and Tark they're great dudes, and they're big Bay Area sports fans. So if you need someone in your corner, call the firm the insurance companies hope you don't call. That's right, Habas Law. They will fight to make it right. Visit habaslaw.com on the web. And thanks to Habas Law for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krueger Show on YouTube.